Are you ready for today's work? Well, today we are going to see the lesson Employment in India and in Tamil Nadu. Okay, we'll start with the recalling of previous chapter with public sector and private sector. As we have said that these two sectors were with the economic activities. It's based on who owns the asset and who is responsible for the delivery. Well, the public sector here is called as organized sector and the private sector is called as the unorganized sectors. We'll move on to the organized sector. It is registered with the government, so fully owned by the government. The employees are with central and the state governments. The job security has been given with high salary or high wages. Okay, now we'll talk about the government which provides the employment with the fixation of working hours and the paid holidays with the medical allowance, especially with the medical allowance. So if a person, if an worker have been met with any accident or with the natural inconvenience in his health, it all have been assisted by the guidance given by the government, and also the insurance have been given for his life. This is what is we call as organized sector. We'll move on to the unorganized sector. It is not registered with the government. So, when there is any problem for the worker, he cannot able to claim for anything. Since the government doesn't give any permission for these type of jobs, whatever they make it up. Well, what were the jobs they do? The household manufacturing activity and small scale industries. They sell it on the streets as like doing repairs with the small industries. It's like that. With the tiny jobs, petty jobs. Well, no job security or any special benefit have been benefited by the worker. So, what's the meaning of no job security? One day they will have a fine job with a profit, but for the next day they will never have anything. So, this is the thing. They never have it continuous throughout the year. Okay, we'll move on to the next point. Jobs are low paid and not regular. No paid holidays, especially they don't have paid holidays. If they wanted to have some sort of relief in their work, they were nil. That is, they never have any profit in the day. So, no leave due to the sickness also. If they never wanted to work, no pay. That's all. This is what is meaning of unorganized sector. Okay, we'll move on to the picture what we have seen in the last session. Just recall, children, we have two types of sectors. One is public sector, the other one is private sector. The public sector has three divisions with the local government, central government, and nationalized industries, whereas the private sectors has unincorporated, which has been divided into two, that is what is individual trader and with the partnership, and the second one is incorporated with the private limited company and with the public limited company, and the third one is franchise, that is the branch of these. Well, here is your difference between the public sector and the private sector. The public sector is fully with the service motivation. whereas the private sector is with only profit motivation. Then analyze how the private sector give the job and suck away the blood of the workers. So, in such a way, the people have to guide or set themselves in joining in the public sector as an employee or in the private sector. Well, what is this private sector is owned by? It's owned by the government with the full assets, whereas the private individuals own the assets. The wages in the public sector have been paid by the government, and the private sector, the wages have been paid only by the owner with the least wages. We have been given with some examples. Okay, we'll move on to the next topic, that is employment pattern. In recent years, we have some changes in the employment pattern. It become a trend also. So, the employers have to have some flexible sort of working. That's why the trends have been followed. Increasing self-employment. Everyone have to employ by themselves. Firms or the industries are using fewer full-time employees, have the trending to offer more short-term contracts. So even the industries, whoever have the full-time, they also appoint some of the contract workers for the short-term of their job that has to be completed. And the third trend is followed nowadays is with the part-time employment. What do you mean by part-time employment? Even if you have been engaged with the other work for a long period of time per day, you can able to do this part-time employment even with the within your timing. Even if you work over in other concern, you can able to set your mind or set your time to have this part time, so in such a way to earn double salary. This is maybe due to the lifestyle of the people. Okay, employment trends in Tamil Nadu. Agriculture, it's nowadays declining, but the GDP have been continues mostly with the raw material of agriculture. So most of the largest employer in Tamil Nadu depend upon the agriculture. Why they wanted to depend upon the agriculture? Because the non-agricultural sectors have to generate enough employment in a shift of labor force. So they wanted to employ more people, but the non-agriculture sector yet to be developed. So most of the employment growth in Tamil Nadu has been contributed only by the unorganized and informal sectors, those who don't have any relation or any recognition by the government. Now, I just wanted to leave away a question before you. Just analyze the most of the employment growth in Tamil Nadu has been contributed by the unorganized and informal sectors. Then why not the government give us employment? This is a question. Set your mind for this answer, and it's your future in your hands. Well, we have come to an end of the lesson and moving on to the homework session. The homework over here has been given for you to do it and mark it in your book. We have two paragraphs over here. One is public sector and the private sector. The other one is organized and unorganized sectors. So, two detailed answer which you have to learn and write by heart. Dear children, do it well. Be careful at home. Keep a keen watch on your health and do your homework properly. And post it today evening between 5 to 6. Well, we'll end today's session with this class. Thank you.